Hey guys, and welcome to another video of Kerbal Space Program. This is episode 2, and in today's episode what we're going to be doing is we're going to be landing on Minmus. Now what you can see here is we're putting a command pod with 2 Kerbals, with a heat shield with 100 ablator, a decoupler, and a service bay with some science in it, and then a science junior on top of that. This is our upstage, our lander, with a Terrier engine on the bottom, all part of our lander. Put some legs on that. And yeah, so this is our mission to Minmus, and what the mission is to try and get as much science as we possibly can. Now, we don't do one mission this episode, we do 2. Now, if you can tell that my voice is slightly strained, it is, because I've recorded this once already, and Audacity deleted it. So, yeah, I'm really happy now. But what we're doing here is we're making our little upstage, our vacuum stage, that's a good word. What that comprises of is a poodle engine, and that's that little big engine you can see right in the middle. Now what we're doing here is we're putting some boosters on top of this Bobcat engine, FUD boosters these are on the outside, and some wings just for aerodynamics sake. Now I make a couple of changes in a minute. So first off, I put some extra tanks onto the bottom one, and then after that I also put some extra fuel into the I take away a stage actually, and then put some extra fuel into the poodle section. So yeah, that was just so we have more delta V in space to sort of orientate ourselves. So what we're doing here is we're doing a basic sort of launch, gravity turn at 5 kilometers of 5 degrees, and then slowly but surely coming across to 45 for about 10 kilometers, and then following sort of that direction. Now ignore that spin, completely intentional, you know, it was some masterful piloting by the pilot of this mission, who is the pilot of this mission? It's not Jebediah. I choose not to use my best Kerbals on missions, mainly because I don't want them to die. This is a risky mission. Yeah. So anyway, so what we're doing is we're circularizing and then sorting out inclination based on Minmus at our ascending/descending node. That is not our ascending/descending node, but hey ho, I don't care. Yeah, Trevor. I saw Trevor Kerman. But yeah, so what we're going to do here is is this our encounter? Or is this... No, this isn't. This is inclination fixing. Okay, so now what we're doing is trying to get an encounter with Minmus, and we do successfully get one at some point. Took a little while. Yeah, it really took me a long time to get this encounter. But we finally got one, and so what we're going to do here is quickly speed through up to there and burn it. At this point we did have to decouple our poodle stage and use the rest of our a little bit of our Terrier on this, but that's no big deal. And now what we're doing here is we're fine-tuning the periapsis and then setting up a circularizing maneuver. So yeah, as we speed out towards Minmus, what we're going to do is do some science experiments in the middle of space, just for some extra science. And then what we'll do is we'll get... I still can't say your name. Sheriloi Kerman, who is the scientist, to come and reset all these experiments. So what you need to do is you need to EVA and get very close to them, and then you will be able to reset the experiments. Now, with the barometer and the thermometer, very hard to say next to each other, not gonna lie, you just collect the data and you're able to do the experiments again. So, yes, so what we do is we reset all these experiments, take the data, go back onto our command pod, or try, and try, and try, and try, and try, and then for some reason put our data in it, and keep on trying, still not able to, then headbutt ourselves into it, still not able to dock, get back on board, and at some point, I hope, oh dear, are we ever going to get on board? Hello? and we got on board and then accidentally let go and lost our RCS. But now we're boarded. We quickly do a EVA report and a crew report. And then what we do is we speed around to our periapsis, and then quickly circularize around Minmus. Now, that's not what we're doing right here. What we're doing is we're doing all the experiments again and then resetting them. Hopefully it's a bit easier to reset them this time. Hopefully. It was, actually. I made a bit of a drama out of it the first time. But yes. So yeah, what we're doing here is we are going to burn out periapsis and circularize around Minmus about 10 kilometers, I seem to think. 10-20 kilometers. It was something like that. And yeah. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to do some more science experiments, because why not? And then try and land in a biome on Minmus. And what we'll do from there is do the science again, get an EVA report, get a surface sample, and go from there. So what we've just set up now is a burn that will put us on a collision course with a Minmus. We do that burn, and then we point retrograde, and we start burning when we're sort of fairly slow, just to slow ourselves down. I burned too early. I know that, because I underestimated the gravity. Oh, wait. Gravity's confusing. I overestimated the strength of gravity on Minmus, and wasted a bunch of fuel, to be honest, but no big deal, since we ended up doing 2 missions anyway. So yeah, so what we're doing here is we're just burning very slowly for some reason. I don't know why I did this. On the dark side of Minmus. Sorry about that. And yeah, we're landing, doing our science experiments very quickly. Then we're getting our scientist out of the command pod, doing an EVA report, and then taking a surface sample and then resetting all the experiments again. And then from there, what we'll do is we will go to all the other, or go to some other biomes on Minmus. So, yeah, first off, we're in the lowland biome. Hopefully we can get on. Nope, we really can't get on board again. I nearly knocked over the rocket with that. Can we get on? Nope, we're still struggling. Luckily, the gravity's not too harsh on here, otherwise we'd be in trouble every time we fall, breaking the legs. Have we got on board? Yeah, there we go. And so now what we're doing here is we're very quickly going to another biome. I just burnt in a direction and said, hey ho. I actually meant to burn in the other direction, but I'm very good at this game, and thus, my pilot instinct in me was saying, don't go that way, go this way. But yes, so we're doing the exact same thing, trying to land again, just pointing retrograde. I decided to burn most of my speed off much later, which is much more fuel efficient. Now at this point, I was actually slightly panicked about the amount of fuel we had. From what I had heard, you need 1,100 meters a second to get off Minmus. Now, that panicked me, because as you can see, we've just gone below 1,100 meters a second. So I was slightly panicked, but it wasn't too bad. We actually had a lot more fuel than we needed to get back to Kerbal. So yeah, what we're doing here is we're burning up far too steeply. We got the highest apparatus of all time. That panicked me, because I was like, oh my goodness, we have no fuel. But it was no worries. So what we do here is we quickly get our periapsis above the ground of Minmus after doing all the science experiments in the slopes biome that was. And yeah, so now what we're doing is we're just getting an orbit around Kerbal rather than around Minmus. Now the reason for this is it's easier to lower your periapsis from here. The way I do this is I just get the orbit with the lowest periapsis I could get from Minmus in a reasonable amount of time, and then what I do is at apoapsis I very quickly burn so that my periapsis comes in Kerbal's atmosphere, only to about 50 kilometers above. Don't want to be too steep in, otherwise your heat shield will die, unless you put the 200 on like a normal person. But yeah, so we go to our apoapsis and very quickly get that very low periapsis. And then what we do is we fast forward up to our periapsis, though I actually put it slightly too low by accident. I then raised it to 60k. And what we do is, with our ship, we burn off the last of our fuel by pointing retrograde just before we hit periapsis, let that go, and that will eventually deorbit along with this, which... What we're doing here is we're pointing retrograde just so our heat shield takes the brunt of the force from re-entry. Now, what we're doing here is we're just aerobraking, so the atmosphere is knocking off all our velocity, and that's forcing our apoapsis down until it eventually becomes in the atmosphere, and we will eventually land. Because when you're in the atmosphere, you get drag from air, which always slows you down, creates heat, why we have a heat shield, and yeah, so that's how we're slowing down here, just so we can go into a landing. So in about 10-15 seconds, you'll see our apoapsis come into the atmosphere. In fact, that's what's happening right now. When it hits just below 70 kilometers, that we're in the atmosphere. And all you're doing there is you're just waiting for your periapsis to go into the ground and for you to land. Now, what I do is I continue pointing retrograde, though you can see this craft does wobble about a lot. It's no big deal because the command pod does have its own heat shielding on it. 20 ablator, it's not a big deal. If I was coming back from Minmus with just the command pod, this would have broke up, and the Kerbals would have died. But unfortunately, I did bring a heat shield, and yeah, so we're just quickly going through the atmosphere here, and when it permits us to let our parachutes out, I let them out, and slowed us down to a steady 7 meters a second, at which we hit the ocean, and then for some reason I decided to do a quick EVA and surf sample in the ocean. Don't know why, but somehow I got some science. So yeah, in total I seem to think we had 696 science from that. Yep, 696 science from that. So that was meant to be the end of this video, but I decided I was going to do another launch to Minmus, and I was like, I might as well chuck it in this video. So what I'm aiming for at the minute is to get nuclear engines. I didn't quite get them this time. I do get them next time. So yeah, that's what I was leveling up there. Now I'm doing the exact same mission, just I'm going to go to different biomes this time. So again, same sort of gravity turn, quickly circularize around Kerbal. This is only going to be highlights, just quickly cut around highlights. Then sorting out our inclination, and then burning towards Minmus. Now I had a couple of problems with our periapsis around Minmus this time, but no biggie. I fixed it all in the end. So yeah, we do the same science in the middle of space at some point. Yep, here's the science we're doing in the middle of space. Don't get particularly much from it, but it's no big deal. Reset them all again with this. Did I bring the same one? I bought the same Kerbals. Oh, rest in peace, you have to come again. And yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm just running science experiments in the hopes that I can get a little bit of extra science. And then picking a landing location and landing. Now, unfortunately, I landed in the lowlands again. But that biome you see on my right here, that actually is a different biome. So what I quickly do is when I land, I realise my mistake, because I thought this was like slopes, even though I have already gone to slopes. But yeah, so I realise my mistake. I get some EVA stuff. I reset the experiments, and then I quickly just burn over towards this place very, very quickly, and we land there in a really, really awkward fashion. And then we do some more science to get that extra science, and then we go to one more biome, Midlands biome, and head home. But yeah, so in our next episode, what we're going to be doing is going to Minmus. Now I'm wrapping up. I sound like I'm wrapping up. I'm not. How long do I have left? I have like a minute, don't I? Yeah. But yeah, so this is a Midlands biome. We'll do the same thing of doing science, EVA report, all that. I should have been doing crew reports. I forgot to say that. I should have been doing crew reports. I forgot to. And yeah. So what we're doing here is quickly getting an orbit around Minmus and then setting up a return trajectory to Kerbal, burning off the last of our fuel and entering the atmosphere and landing. Yeah, what I was saying is next episode we're going to be going to the moon, and we're going to be doing some interesting little project there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did like this, and subscribe if you like the series in general, to get more episodes. Before I leave you guys, I'm going to quickly go through what I spent my science on. So we got 547 science from this. I spent it on the landing gears, nuclear engines, and it was crew capability or something. Yeah, my head's gone dead for what it was. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a lovely rest of your day.